Good morning, everybody. This is Mike from What Works for Me Aquariums. This will be the third video in a series. I intend to continue to do this until the tank is actually set up and maintained for a while. The first two videos were regarding the way the light looks and where the random flow generator nozzle works. And I want to tell you, I was very impressed with that random flow generator. If you haven't seen that, go back and watch my other video. It's got some information regarding that device. It's going to save you a little money because you don't have to buy a wave maker. Now I'm going to go ahead and continue the process I'm using to build this tank, and that gives you some idea of what I'm doing. And again, what works for me may not work for you, and what works for you may not work for me. That's the aquarium hobby. You can get advice across the board. You can watch 100 YouTube videos, and everybody's going to say something slightly different, and they're going to do things slightly different. You need to do what's comfortable for you folks, but do your research, look at all the videos, and decide, hey, I think I'm going to try that. And that's basically what I'm doing. So, here we go. This is the Fluval 13.5 Evo, or Evo 13.5, however you want to say it. And it's a pretty neat little tank, actually. I'm pretty impressed with it. I like the rimless feature. And it's got the sump on the left behind that plastic rack right there, the dark area, the dark band. That's the sump. Okay? And it's an all-inclusive aquarium. It's supposed to have everything in, one, all wrapped up into one. You don't need to buy anything extra. Now, the truth is, from what I can understand, the equipment that they furnish with the tank is sufficient for keeping animals alive. But as far as growing coral or making a tank that's prospering, may not be the best stuff. So I've done a little bit. I've changed a few things. Okay. And I figured right away the one thing that probably needed to be changed was the light. So we'll discuss that in just a second. So what you see in front of you is the tank itself, and the rock that's in the tank right now is Carib Sea Life Rock. According to the advertisement, this stuff actually has some sort of man-made bacteria infused on the rock that becomes active when you submerge it in salt water. We're going to find out whether that's true or not. I spoke with Carib Sea, and they were pretty positive about the way it should function, and that it's supposed to help cycle your tank a lot faster. Likewise, I'm going to be using Carib Sea Live Sand, which I have in a bag here in my office. So it's about time to set this thing up. The only thing I'm missing right now, and this is the sad part, is RODI water. I live in a rural area, and I'm having a hard time finding anybody that has any. So it may get to the point where I'll have to actually install a RODI device in my home. I'd rather not, but if it's necessary, then that's what I'll have to do. But I did find a source yesterday, and if he'll come through for me, we'll be all right. That's the only thing I'm really hung up on. I've got to have water. So anyway, what's before you, there are a few items that I've upgraded or I intend to upgrade in the aquarium. The first thing I actually upgraded, which you cannot see, is the pump. I have an Eheim pump that's more powerful a bit than the pump that comes with the Fluval kit. Likewise, there's an Eheim heater, which is also supposed to be more reliable than the one that comes with Fluval kit. I have a lot of Fluval equipment in my aquariums throughout. And I've always been very pleased. I've had only a couple of negative situations, and Fluval was very kind about taking care of all that. Their customer service was really good, or at least it was for me. At any rate, I went ahead and took the advice of some of the people here on YouTube that are upgrading this thing, and I went ahead and got that bigger, stronger pump, and I got the better heater. The next thing I got was on the left there. You see this little plastic rack right here. That is it's from a company called N-Tank. And they do, actually there's two of them for this system. You can get this one, which goes in the center section of the sump. The sump's in three parts. And they also have another one that fits in the first chamber. And I just went ahead and got the one. I don't think I need the other one. Not right now anyway. The first chamber of the sump is supposed to be for their protein skimmer, which I also went ahead and purchased. But from what I've been able to tell, and from what I've been able to interview people who've had similar situations, a tank this size doesn't really need a protein skimmer, and we're going to find out. Also depends on the load that's going in the tank, and I don't put very many fish at all. Coral doesn't take up much room, doesn't produce a heavy load for the most part. So I left that out. That chamber I'm going to reserve for some type of mechanical filtration, like maybe floss or something like that, and a sponge to control the detritus. And then it's this chamber here that you're looking at, this rack goes in the center section. Now, I'm going to put the lower chamber right here is going to be for my my chemical media. That's just right there. Chemipure Blue. Now, how it works, I couldn't tell you because this is the first saltwater tank I've had in forever. However, I'm using Chemipure Green in all my freshwater tanks. If you look on my channel, you'll take a look at the tanks. I'm telling you, the water is crystal clear, and I believe it's because of this. And the stuff is good for months on end. It's really economical because if you spread it out over those period of time, it's really not very expensive. The center section of the rack is going to contain this biomedia. It was recommended highly. Marine Pure, it's called, and they're called Marine Pure Gems. That kind of look like little Dungeons and Dragons dice, and they're very lightweight. They don't seem like ceramics. I'm not exactly sure what they're made out of, but they're supposed to be really great at bacteria bullying. And in the top here, I intend to put some sort of light sponge to catch the detritus as it goes into the system. So that basically is a breakdown of everything that's going on as far as mechanics on the tank. The only other thing I want to mention is the light. The one thing I wasn't pleased with the Fluval kit was the light. What you see there is a Kessel Tuna Blue, A80 Tuna Blue. I purchased it used on eBay, and I got a deal. Then I purchased the controller on eBay because as it stands, the light is not controlled. You have to either shut it off and on manually, and you can increase the intensity or increase the color of the light by a couple of dials that are on top. But I decided to go ahead and get the controller. And the only downside that I can find is that I'm used to Fluval lights. And the lights I have on my freshwater tanks are so easy to control. And it's not that this is hard. It's just, here's the big difference to me. My Fluval lights ramp up. They come on at a certain time and slowly, depending upon how many hours I've got them set on, slowly become brighter and brighter and brighter until they reach full intensity. Then likewise, they stay there till a certain time, and then they start dimming back down again until they go off. Either I'm not doing it right, or I'm not understanding maybe how to control this light, but it doesn't do that. It simply comes on, and you set the intensity you want to come on at, and even at the lowest intensity, it's still pretty bright. And then same thing, it builds up over the day's time and gets brighter until it goes toward the evening hours and goes back down again. So that's basically where we're standing right now. I've got the tank set up so it has a light source that is primarily blue. But as you're looking now, it's becoming whiter as the day goes on. So I've got a more intense situation. When I started earlier, it was almost purely purple or blue. So I'm going to give it a try and see if the light works properly. I may go with the AI eventually, but right now I think this is going to work pretty well. So folks, that's the tank. Oh, one other thing, the salt I'm using. I'm going to use, please don't hate me for it, good old-fashioned Instant Ocean. I am used to it. I've used it many, many years ago when I had saltwater tanks before. I've never had any problems out of it. But I know it's not the most popular brand right now. But we're going to give it a shot. Reef Crystals. It's called Reef Crystals. And we're going to give that a shot and see if it works. So, kindly wish me luck on finding RO water because once that's done, this tank is going up. Folks, thanks for looking. Like and subscribe if you will. I am not here to be monetized. I don't care about making money on YouTube. I'm interested in talking to people about aquariums and letting them talk back and forth. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will update you as soon as this tank is up and running. Thanks so much and have a good day.